Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Shonan JR Media. I want to say thank you to all my returning subscribers. You are simply the best. And if this is the first time of you tuning to watch this video, I want you to please press the subscribe button. I want you to like the video and put all your reactions in the video. Yeah, let's go into our topic for today. Today I want to speak to you about 8 important tips for global migrants. 8 important tips for global migrants. All right, number 1 tip for global migrants: you need to determine your purpose. Number 1, determine your purpose. Why am I traveling? What am I going for? You need to have a purpose for which you are traveling, wherever you're going to, any part of the world, all the continents. There needs to be a purpose. It could be for work, it could be for relocation, it could be for tourism, and every other thing. It could be even for religious. So you need to determine the purpose for which you are traveling. This is one of the things that will definitely help you. Okay, number 2, you need to determine the time frame. Even before you leave your point of your point of departure for your place of arrival, your destination, you need to be able to determine the time frame. Okay, I'm going to be in this place for 2 weeks, I'm going to be here for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I'm going to be here for 2 months, 3 months, and so on and so forth. You need to be able to determine the time frame you'll be in the nation or a particular city you want to visit. That is the number 2 tip for you. Number 3, do all diligence. Do all diligence. Yes, all you're getting, you have to get knowledge. You need to get the right knowledge of where you're going to, the things that are required. You need to also know that different countries have different protocols, they have different rules, they have different things, or many of them are similar. For instance, in Africa, we have some similar rules, even though I noticed based on my journeys of recent that even some rules in West Africa are different from the way it is in East Africa, and also even different from the way it is in Southern Africa. And some countries, they have stricter rules, or they take stricter measures in following up with their rules, their protocols, their structures and all that. So we need to do all diligence. What are the documents you need? Maybe your yellow card, your passport, your maybe COVID vaccine certificates. Some of all these things, as small as they may seem to be, they could be part of the things that could even want to hinder us to the great journey that God has already perfected for us. So please do all diligence. Every necessary documents you need, you can find out whether from your agent, you can also find out online. Make sure you have them. Make sure you also meet up with the requirements. Make sure you meet up with every requirement given unto you. I know that for instance, there are some openings in the UK now, in the US and some other places, for maybe health workers and maybe caregivers, things like that. Have you met the requirement? For instance, there are some that you need to maybe train for about 3 or 4 months. Make sure you've done that training. There are even some that will require you to be in a school, where you can learn, a school or an hospital, a medical establishment where you can train for like 6 months as an auxiliary nurse or something like that. Some nations, even like the UK, are opening doors for people to come and work there. So make sure you have the requirement, your certificates, your testimonials, your everything. Make sure you have them, and make sure everything you have is original. Make sure you avoid maybe fake documents. They can be of negative effects when detected. When detected, it could be of negative effect. So that is that. Do all due diligence. And number 4, adaptation. I'm going to say a lot on adaptation because I have to an extent traveled some countries in Africa and also in Europe. So from the little I have experienced, that's what I'm bringing to you to speak to you. You need to prepare yourself to get adapted. One of the things that you will find as a challenge in your adaptation is the weather or the environment. For instance, some of us, like most of us in Nigeria, those of us in Ghana, we are used to heat. We're in the temperate region. We are used to heat. So when we now go to the cooler places, at times it's always difficult. But since you are going to where you are going to, you are going there for a good reason, you need to already prepare yourself psychologically that this is what I'm going to meet there. So when you get there, it will just be like a stepping stone for you. You need to also prepare yourself. I'm talking about adaptation now. So you need to also prepare yourself also for food. You need to prepare yourself for food. You need to know that the food you'll be eating in the place you are going to will definitely be different from what you have been having in your country. In my country, there are some foods we eat. I don't know if you might have heard it before. We eat something like eba. I don't know if you've heard eba before. This is made from cassava. The cassava flakes, we mix with warm water, it solidifies, and we use it with soup, different kind of soups. We have so many ones. I don't want to begin to mention all that here. When I travel to the UK now, I may not meet that there. You get what I'm saying? I may not meet that there. If I go to the US, I may not meet that there. But I think there are quite a number of Africans that have traveled to these countries. They export them from Nigeria there. I could still meet them there. But I also have to prepare my mind that if I'm going to be taking those kind of foods there, they will definitely be far more expensive than what I have in Nigeria. So prepare yourself to adapt to a new kind of food. I was in Kenya earlier this year, and in Kenya, the kind of food they eat, they are more of like vegetables. They prefer natural food. They don't really take so much of the preserved food, and things like that. I like their rice, but there are some of them I didn't really like. You get what I'm saying? So I just chose to stick to the ones I prefer. So at least I was still eating. So I know no matter how bad it is, whatever country you travel to, there will still be at least one or two foods that you can go well with. And also, I want to talk about lifestyle in the country where you are going to. Lifestyle comprises of your work, it comprises of your family, and it comprises of social. How you'll be coping at work. You need to know that you are not maybe in Nigeria, you're not in Ghana. Sorry, I'm mentioning Nigeria probably because I'm hearing this from Nigeria. You're not in Kenya, you're not in Tanzania, whichever of these. So you need to know that, when I get to this new place to work, I may have stricter bosses. The processes may be more like due processes. It may be more rigid. It may be more rugged. You need to prepare yourself mentally. And the reason why I want to kind of emphasize on this a bit is because, we Africans, I think I've noticed a bit that when we travel to some of these countries, we find it difficult to adjust. And, as a reason of this, at times we say maybe the people from the Western world are racist. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they are not I'm not saying they don't have elements of racism. I believe every human being to an extent could be either tribalistic or could have a form of racial discrimination. But what is good for the goose may not be fully so good for the gander. There is a popular saying in where I come from. They say one man's meat is another man's poison. So what you could just get away with in your country or state will be different with what you could get away with there. So you need to prepare yourself to be able to adapt to a new kind of work system. You need to prepare yourself how you'll be able to balance the work and family. A lot of people travel to these countries, and one way or the other, family life becomes imbalanced. You need to be able to, meddle with everything in the process of your busy schedule. You still have to take your children to school, maybe take them to the minder, the crèche, whatever it is. Everything has to be about then your social lifestyle. And what do I mean by social lifestyle? It's just talking about how you relate with people. I think I'm still going to mention that somewhere before I conclude for this, because you have to have friends. You have to have friends, whether you like it or not. You are the one going to another man's country. You may not expect them to be the ones that will first of all come, excitedly that there is a Kenyan here, there is a South African here. No, you are the one that will try to win their hearts, to win their interest. So there needs to be a balance. And another thing you need to take note of as a global immigrant is that the people you are seeing there are not your enemies. They are your friends. You get what I'm saying? You are going to visit them. You need to win their hearts. You need to win their love. No matter whichever way it is, they may be difficult to please, but just take it as something you have in your heart that these people, whether you like it or not, I'm going to have you as my friend, and I'm going to enjoy good from you. That's very, very great. Adaptation is just simply the process of adjusting to a new environment. Now, for further emphasis, number 5, you need to be friendly. You need to be friendly. I cannot overemphasize this. You need to be friendly. I've mentioned this before here that you need to be friendly. That was when I was talking about social life. You need to be friendly. You need to win the hearts of these people. Yes, that is number 5 tip for you. And also, let me just say this importantly, in case you are like a black person, someone like my color, I don't want you to determine that, I'm going to have only black friends. I know we blacks, many a times we have phobia. We have phobia, the color we are like. And I think it has a lot to do with our mindset. It has a lot to do with our mindset. I don't think the whites are as bad as what we think they are. They are good whites. They are good people. Yeah. Number 6, be moderate. Be moderate. This is also a very, very important counsel for us. A very, very important tip. Be moderate in everything. Be moderate. Let me just read a little from my book here. So it's important that you note as an immigrant that you are no more in your familiar zone. Therefore, it's advisable to live with caution, especially when it comes to social life. I had to read it from there. If you love clubbing, club with moderation. Yes, this is very, very important. You love clubbing, do it moderately. Go out, whatever you want to take, do it. Know your left from your right. And also, don't go and meet another man's wife, to do what you ought not to do. These are part of the things that at times causes violence. There is a man that has maybe a girlfriend or whatever it is, and you're going around messing around with somebody else's. These are things that cause problems, cause issues. Just go, whatever drink you want to take your drink. If you want to dance, whatever you want to do it. Everything moderately. And even to be candid, I don't think I will advise you to spend too much time outside. Responsibility will make you leave your workplace and go back to your family. Yeah, and also drinking and all these other things, do them moderately. Don't leave your country as someone who drinks to stupor and go to another man's country. Then you also go and begin to drink to stupor, getting drunk on the road. It does not really speak well of you, and it doesn't even really speak well of where you are coming from. Number 7, learn and try to follow protocols. Every country have their protocols. When you are meant to go for maybe your driving test, you're meant to do some of all these things, do them. Don't just pick up a car. For instance, in the country where I come from, you could just pick up a car, begin to drive, even without a license, even without going to driving school. You have to go through different things. Whether you're in the UK, go to your driving test, make sure you are certified before you drive. Try to avoid trouble. That's what this is just about. Follow protocols, guidelines, and rules. Avoid trouble. Probably there are some things that your children need to do. For instance, mostly in Europe, I think children begin school about 5 years old. They begin school about 5 years old. For us in my country, children even begin from like 2 years old. Crèche, there's something like pre-nursery, and they now go to reception and nursery, primary. Don't go to another man's country and say by force, this is the class you put my child. My child needs to begin school. My child was doing well here. No, follow protocols, follow rules. I cannot overemphasize this. There's a saying in my country, like a maxim. It says that a country, a nation, a city where there is no law, there is no offense. A country, a city, a nation where there is no law, there is no offense. It's as simple as that. Finally, what I'll tell you on your sojourn to a new land as an immigrant is that make sure you enjoy yourself. That's number 8, which is the final. Make sure you enjoy yourself. Don't just walk. Make sure you enjoy yourself. And enjoying, I'm talking about, I don't mean you should go and do things you should not do. You can go on sightseeing once in a while. You can go to the beach. You can visit safaris if there's anything like that in your area. Just be free. Eat good food. Buy some things for yourself. Take your family out. Take life easy. Life is not difficult. You get what I'm saying? So also make the best there. Learn the culture. You can learn a language. For instance, when I traveled to Kenya, I learned a little Swahili, learn a language. All these things are fun. Yeah, I believe this has been helpful to you. If you have not yet pressed the subscribe button, please, I want you to do that right away. And I also want you to share with your friend. Let them know that Shonan GR Media is teaching them good on family, tourism, business, and what have you. Thank you very much.